Hey there, it's Dr. Guerrero. I just wanted to kind of give you a quick rundown and some tips, tricks, and maybe suggestions for your genetics project. So your genetics project is your signature assignment for Biology 1406, and the instructions for it are found within your course shell. You go to Lessons and Assignments, and then you scroll down to Genetics Projects. The first thing that I want to advise you of is that you need to sign up for a topic by clicking genetics project topic selection. No two people can have the same topic. Okay, so you're going to be reporting on something different. When you create a discussion thread, the title, the subject of your discussion should be your genetic disease that you're going to present on. Okay, so make sure that you sign up and you make sure that no one else has that topic. In the event that two people pick the same topic, I will go back to the sign up, and whoever has it first will get the credit. Whoever doesn't, because they haven't, whoever got it second because they didn't follow directions, won't get credit for that project. So please make sure that no one else is presenting on your topic. The second thing is making sure that the topic you select is actually genetic disorder. If it's a genetic disorder, and you'll learn this in the 4th module, it has to do with DNA. So there is some type of defect or some issue, whether it's congenital from birth or it happened because of an environmental influence, so later on in life, but it impacted the DNA. Okay, so that's what makes it a genetic disorder. The majority of them are going to be from birth, but there are multiple that happen out throughout life because of environmental influences. Okay, so your genetic disorder has to be related to DNA because that's what genetics is. All right. The next thing is, once you decided what topic you're going to do, up here in the instructions, it tells you what your project needs to include. So it's not like I'm just randomly putting things together. I need to know these exact things. And the last thing I want you to do is provide me a paragraph of copy and pasted content from the internet. I want you to answer the question directly, bullet points, and then include citations, and I'll cover that in just a moment. So like if I were doing a PowerPoint, which is basically going to be the easiest way of conveying this content, the first slide would be give the names of that disorder. There are multiple genetic disorders that go by different names. It just depends on what part of the country you're in or what type of doctor you're speaking to. So if you pick Down syndrome, for example, Down syndrome is also referred to as trisomy 21. So on that first slide, I need all the names of that condition. Okay. The second slide, the gene, which is just a small segment of DNA, or the actual full chromosome, which is a whole bunch of genes that is impacted or linked to this condition. Okay. If you have chosen a disorder and you cannot locate the gene or you cannot locate the chromosome, then do not keep that disorder, because this whole project is based on you being able to locate that information. All right. The symptoms or effects of having this disorder. Again, just give me bullet points. Just make sure you cite it. It needs to be cited in text and then a reference on the reference slide at the bottom or at the back of your PowerPoint. How is this disorder diagnosed? Is it diagnosed by a genetic test? Is it diagnosed at birth? How do we diagnose it? Any treatments? Notice how it says treatments and no cures. In a genetic disorder, because it's DNA, you're not changing anyone's DNA. So there's no cure, so to speak, for a genetic disorder. We talk about how to treat those symptoms and how to improve the quality of life for the people impacted by that condition. Okay, so you'll notice that it says that any type of experimental therapies that may be taking place, I would love to know about those as well. Again, these are bullet points. There should be no paragraphs. Okay, the prognosis of having this disorder. The term prognosis is referring to what's going to be the outcome of that patient. So if they have a disease like Tay-Sachs, they're not going to live very long. Okay, so that's diagnosed at birth, and then they don't live much longer after that. However, if they have Down syndrome, they could live a full life, 40, 50 years old. Okay, so what's the prognosis? How long are they going to live and what's the quality of life going to be? Is it going to get worse with time? Has it kind of plateaued? What are the options for this? Okay, and so you can see that again, another slide. What is the occurrence of this disorder? I'm looking at statistics here. And in order to have statistics, you're going to have to do research, which means you're also going to have to cite it. There should not be one slide in this presentation that is not cited. Okay, that means that you have to go out and find the answer and cite that resource. All right, any other pertinent facts about this disorder? Things that you found out while you were researching, you could include on one of the final slides. Notice here, if you use an image, and it is saying this straight up, if you use an image, you need to describe why you're using it. You need to tie it into your presentation and explain like, okay, this is an image of a patient with Down syndrome. Patient is approximately 2 years old, and it is showing how he's interacting in the environment or how he's interacting with his peers, whatever that's a picture of. Okay, you're not putting clip art in here. I don't want some fancy, oh, I've got this nice design template. Nope. I want facts. I want you to be able to back up and validate the things that you're saying in the research that you're doing. So don't put random pictures of people smiling or a stethoscope in a nurse. Like, I don't need that. I need you to understand and make meaningful contributions to this just genetic disorder research. Okay. It does, of course, and then it needs to be a PowerPoint presentation, and it has to be downloadable. So many of you guys will use Google Slides or some type of, I forget what the other PowerPoint thing is right now, but anyways, it needs to be downloaded into a physical document so that it can be run through a plagiarism checker. You are not allowed to put a link in there, like a link to this document. If you do that, you won't receive credit. Okay, so make sure you let me know in advance if you have questions. When it goes through the plagiarism checker, if you've done what I've asked you, your similarity index, which means the amount that you copied and pasted, should be super low because you've just kept it straight and to the point. If you include paragraphs and quotes, we don't need quotes, but if you include all of that, it increases your plagiarism value. I don't need you to give me some thought process that somebody else had. I need to know what you have figured out about this genetic disorder. Okay. Now, once you're finished and you're ready to submit it, you'll submit it here. Okay. I know some of you can't see that because the due date's not coming up yet, and I don't want you to turn it in yet, but anyways, it's right there and you will upload it. Okay. And it will automatically run it through the plagiarism checker. Notice the due date. Okay. And the due date, depending on what class you're in, may change. So check for your due date. It should also be on your eCampus calendar. I did want to show you, like if I were to do a PowerPoint, what I'm talking about. So genetic disease, and put your identifiable information. So Dr. Guerrero, biology, 1406, yada, 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 the date. Okay, because there will be a choice amount of projects that are selected and sent up to the higher level for evaluation. So again, that's another thing. It needs to be in a format that is downloadable. Okay. Then when you go to inserting your new slide, okay, name of disease, Down syndrome, trisomy 21, and then I want citations. So where did I get this from? Source, year, source, year. Okay. And then you go on and you add your stuff. You know, pictures do make presentations go really smoothly and they help with the transition. And I love that. But your pictures may not be meaningless. They have to be meaningful and linked to the content that you're sharing. Okay. The last thing that I want, and again, I'm on this slide, my point is that it needs to be bullet points. Do not give me a long paragraph. Okay. I don't need you to copy and paste anything for me. All right. Now, the last thing I want to show you is about citations. Okay. And I use CiteFast. Citefast.com. It is a free citation generator. You will use APA 7 for your citing. And whatever it is that you utilize to find your content, you need to cite. So say, for example, here I did research on Down syndrome names. Okay. So I got facts about Down syndrome. I got this. This is the website that I used. All right. In order to cite it, so you see here, it's called Down syndrome. It's also called trisomy 21. It's telling you all of that here. Okay. In order to cite this, I can copy the URL and then go to my citation generator, click APA 7, a web page, and then I can paste that URL into that. It says URL, I think I added a period. Okay. So what it does is it gets all this information for me. It asks me for the author's name. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to look for an author. Usually the authors are at the very top or at the very bottom. National Center, Centers for Disease Control content source. So I'm going to do National Center on Birth Defects, Developmental Disabilities, Centers, CDC. So, is it Centers for, I think it's Centers for Disease Control. Okay, it already pulled the date that it was published. On the title, in order to be compliant with APA 7, only the first word can be capitalized. So down needs to be lowercase. Okay, that's where the website is. Is this information likely to change? No. Here is the URL. It's already auto-filled it because this is a citation generator, and then I'll hit save citation. So you can see that it's over here now. In order to get it into my PowerPoint in the correct format, I'm going to tell it to export to Word. When I export to Word, let me open it first. When I export to Word, as I get there, share here. It shows you this is what this whole thing right here should be on my reference slide. Okay, that's the last slide, and it needs to be in alphabetical order. So if you should be using multiple resources, and it tells you that in the directions, but your resources should be in alphabetical order. You can copy and paste this directly and keep source formatting. Okay. Now, the next thing and the last thing is the in-text citation. In-text citation is what does it look like inside your PowerPoint. In order to get that, you click right here where it says in-text, and it shows you this is what it looks like. Centers for Disease Control 2021. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. Share. Okay, and change that there. Oops. All right, and you're including that. All right, now, last but not least, your content should all be in the same exact font. It should not have different fonts, different colors, all of that. It should all flow because you're in college, not in elementary school. Okay, so make sure when you go and you change the font to all be the same size, whatever it is that you choose, and the same font. You can't really go wrong with Times New Roman. I don't mind other fonts. I don't know why that's not. I don't mind other fonts, but don't give me a font that no one can read. Okay, and just keep everything uniform. All right, that's where we get our professionalism from, and you are scored on that. Okay, I just wanted to give you a quick rundown so that there wasn't any confusion. Don't forget to sign up for your topic and make sure you're the only one. If you have any questions with citation or need additional assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, have a great day, and